Hi guys, how are you? Well, here I am live again tonight. I want to talk about. Let's see what I'm going to talk about. First of all, I'm really not digging this particular Dubon. Not really feeling the pink, but we're going to do it anyway because I look the background. It's fabulous. Well, I just want to talk about letting go. That's what I want to talk about. Um, And I wanted to speak about why, one of the reasons why this channel was created. It was created to release. It was called the Release Room. So my total objective is to either release something that I have inside of me that I just want to release in the air and just be rid of it. It's almost like my offering to God. Say, hey, God, please take this, and I'm using this YouTube channel as a vehicle for that. Um, what I generally do is I meditate a lot. I sit in quietness a lot. I listen to jazz a lot. Um, I burn incense a lot. I take long walks. That's generally how I release what's stirring up in my life. And I release it just to give, to acknowledge it for one, and to see if it's working for me, if it's something that I want to continue to process and devour in. Is what it does for me. So hoping that this video will help. Well, okay. So something's been happening in my life. Where, and I don't know if it's with age, maybe it's with age, it's where I just don't generally tolerate a lot. I generally don't go on, I don't go miles and miles and miles and miles on things that are clearly uh, taken away from who I am as a person, and also, or trying to take away who I am as a person, or trying to uh, pull at my spirituality, my spirit that's within me, or trying to um, mirror in with the humanisticness of my body. Um, when I can clearly see things, then it's just obvious to me that others can't. Um, and I generally don't keep going on with it. So when I was getting my PhD, um, I'm sorry, my master's degree, I used to write papers. Shout out to the University of Phoenix. I used to write papers because my degree was in business management, human resources. So I used to write all these papers about corporations, um, you know, how they were developed, the hiring process, the reconstruction process, their the downsizing, that process, just all types of things like that that have to deal with business. Not so much of the marketing part of it, but more of this ability to keep floating. And as I was going through my process with accomplishing that degree, and then fast forward to accomplishing or trying to finish my PhD, which I was 3 classes from, and didn't finish because I ran out of money. That's another story. I decided that I had this. I had this thought just kept reoccurring in my mind, and because I spoke about things, like high turnover rate, high hiring process, training, and development. Um, just things in that nature that relates to business management. Understand those words and human resources. And so I wanted to do my dissertation when I was working on my PhD about HR, about hiring HR, and I wanted to do it on the lack of diversity in HR. And I ran out of money, but it still didn't take the knowledge from me. I still have the knowledge. Um, so, um, so I'm saying that to say this is to gear at hiring managers and the corporation that you guys are in. I don't, you know, I just, I don't know whether to say that it's that the hiring managers. I just believe they have a lot to do with. I want to say human resources is what I want to say. I think they have a lot to do with the proper ability of a company succeeding, and I believe that wholeheartedly. And I have been believing that for a very, very long time. Like I said, I started my master's degree and I started my PhD program. I started my master's degree in 2009 and I was done with it by 2010. So I've been thinking about this for a long, long time. So you would say about 9, 10 years I've been thinking about it. And to me, it just came to the conclusion that HR has the ability to make or break a corporation. And I mean that by saying that you see the people who are coming into that establishment first. You see them first. And you see them based on a piece of paper. And we all know there's been plenty of examples where people have falsified their education and was with company for years before they found out, or they falsified their experience. And with HR, I feel like we're falling short in a way that we're not doing the proper footwork to allow a company to remain profitable. Now, I'm not saying that HR is solely responsible. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that I think they need to do a little bit more digging, if you will, before they hire somebody. HR had a lot of elements of finding ways of knowing, at least knowing about the characteristic of the person that they're hiring. Now, they can't dig too deep, but what they can say, what they can do is, because HR, to me, HR is law. It's all HR is. But I just don't think they're digging far enough. I don't think they're digging far enough. I think just a simple phone call to say, oh, would you hire blah, blah, blah back? Oh, of course we will. They were awesome. How do you know they actually worked there? What proof do you have that they worked there? And how do you know you're not talking to someone who's their friend? We gotta go deeper. We gotta go deeper. How do you know that that person that you're speaking to, because they actually put all the information on the resume, and they also put it on the application process. So how do you know who they're talking? How do you know that's the real person? That's the real HR person? How far are we digging? And the reason I say that because I have had a wonderful work experience in this world, and I sometimes look at people in positions and I go, I go, something's not right here. Something's not right. Like either they haven't had this position before and they say they did, or they give them the company's giving them an opportunity. I just don't. Sometimes I don't understand it. But I think that we, as HR people, they need to go deeper. They need to go really deeper in finding out who are they hiring, because this is what happens. This is what happens. That's some good old red wine. What happens is you hire someone and they falsify their way into your organization. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? If they lie to get in, they're going to lie to remain in there. That's just how it is. And a lot of corporations are fested. And I used to write about this, and I tried my best to go back and get my papers. I used to write about this. It's very, very topic I'm speaking about. It came back to the surface around. And I'm thinking, you have all these corporations that's doing all this reconstruction, and they want to change certain things in their arena. And some properties are making money, some are not. And, they're downsizing. They're doing all they can do. But what if for 1 millimeter of a second, you sit and you realize that it's not our profits that are hurting us, it's the people that we're hiring. Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that make sense to you? Like, wouldn't that make sense that if I hire the right person, this is just how I think with my educated self. If I hire the right person with the right experience, with the right ideas, with the right motive, they automatically connected to my vision. So my profits are going to lay out before me, because this person thinks the way I think and on the same realms of what my vision and my mission is. Right? I mean, you guys can write comments at the bottom there, but I'm just wondering, am I bugging? That's an old term. Am I bugging? Am I bugging out? Like, what is it? Am I bugging out? Like, what? I don't understand it. So when you decide to not, these are the elements. When you decide not to hire the right person, or you decide to not do enough informational research on the person that you're hiring, you get what you're hiring. And then they go tell a friend, oh, look, this is what can happen. You can get hired. Just put this on the application. Let's do this. And then they go 2 of them in there. And then they tell another friend. Then you got 3 in there. And then guess what? They tell another friend. And you got 4 in there. And before you know it, or before you realize it, and this is to my CEOs and my COOs, before you realize it, you have got not just one location, you have got several locations that's fested with not even believing in you, your company, your vision, or your mission. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience. When your main person who lures people in does not believe in what you have established, it festers your place. It festers it. Now, when you hire someone who is on the flip side of it, when you hire someone who's honest about their degree or honest about their prior work experience, you know what you get? You get just the opposite. You get someone who believes in your vision, believes in your mission, respect your establishment, and you get consistency at the same time. It's just that simple. It's that simple and it's that plain. And I'm wondering, this is definitely to my CEOs. And in fact, I may change this title. And I'm wondering if you would take the time to at least change the structuralism of how your hiring process is played out. You may see an increase in your profits. That's one aspect. That's one aspect. It's ways you can turn it around. But what happens when you have a whole store or a whole establishment or an entire corporation that's vested? Let's just say 85% vested, and you get that right person in there. What happens? Chaos. Chaos. That's what happens. A bunch of chaos. A bunch of people running around, figuring out now what they should really be doing. That's what you get. And I'm not speaking about anything in particular. I'm just saying, like, I have experienced this. I have literally went in at the bottomness of a title in the corporation and literally could mirror my education and to look at my environment that I was actually in. And I'm gonna tell you the story. I had a professor at the University of Phoenix. Shout out to the University of Phoenix. Who she told me, I think it was on my fourth class or fifth class. She told me, she said, you would never see business, any business, the same anymore. This is what she told me. She went on to say, I don't like this. She went on to say that even though you may have, she said, even though you may have not learned how that particular business should be ran, whether it's retail, whether it's no matter what type of business it is, she said, because of this education, you're gonna be able to know whether or not they're doing the right or the wrong thing. All because you decided to take this walk to get a master's degree in business management, human resources. She said, even if they gave you no training at all, and they provided no training to you, she said, your education will let you know whether or not they're doing the right thing. And she ain't never lied. And I wish I knew her. I knew, because I kept thinking to myself, this woman talking about? This is like my second class. What is she talking about? She don't know what she's talking about. Whatever. Fast forward, I finished in 2010, 8 years later. But every job that I had when I finished at University of Phoenix in 2010 her words ring to be true. I had worked in nonprofits. I had worked in businesses. I had worked in every job that I have had, every job duty I have had. When I had the ability to walk into an establishment, I didn't need any training from them at all to realize that either they was lacking in something, in their ability to do something. I didn't need the training from them because I had the education. But I knew whether or not they was training me correctly and whether they was running the business correctly, all because I was educated. Not just I just went to school. See, I was educated, and you think I need to define that? Yeah, let me define that. Okay, educated means that you embody what you learned. Going to school means that you just went through the motions and it sank in, but it stopped at a certain point and you didn't embody it. Like your whole body embodies it. You walk educated, you talk educated, you mirror educated, you look at things educationally because you embodied it. I am a master's degree. I am an educated person. I am confident. You embody that. I am love. You have to embody what you go through in life. And when you embody it, your mind connects with your spirit and your soul. And that's what you become. You become what you pull yourself after at. What you engross yourself with. I engrossed myself in education. So I became that. That became part of me. Educated. It's a powerful thing. That's why people say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Because once your mind gets it, your body gets it, and your spirit welcomes it. So my whole sum of this, I can really go on and on, but I'm going to cut it short tonight. But my whole sum is that our HR people are having a major effect on our companies. And I want every CEO, COO, if you're gonna start dismantling your organizations based on numbers. I didn't talk about that. Let me talk about that. Let me talk about that. Oh, let me talk about that. I was getting ready to go. And I wrote about this too. You can't run your organizations based solely on money, on numbers. You can't do it. You can't sit at your little desk, see little spreadsheets. Oh, how is this store done? Oh, you can't run your organization solely based on numbers. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a very great aspect of it. But if you hire numbers that are wrong, the numbers that you are forecasting won't be your actual. I'll charge you later for that one. If your HR person is hiring numbers that you can't visibly see when you are doing your forecasts, your actual is going to be different because now the numbers that you couldn't see are showing up at the table, and they have a major effect on how your business will profit. So before you start closing stores and dismantling things, check your HR department. Go there first. Because somebody is hiring the wrong person at the wrong time, for the wrong reason, for the wrong outcome. And it has nothing to do with connecting with your vision, your mission, your purpose, and your drive for your corporation. I gotta go. I'm gonna do things like this every now and then. Because sometimes when you're in an environment and you want to make sure that you are saying something of value at the right time, you will find it at times that people will bump against what you're saying. And it's not that they're doing it personally, it's that they're doing it because what they have been doing seem to be working for them. So when you come in with a different eye and you speak with them, they're automatically going to reject what you're saying. And that depends solely on how you deliver it. So my only advice is that if you are in an environment, a working environment, and you know something is not right, I would beg you to wait to see if there is consistency. And if there's a consistent pattern that you feel is hindering the growth of the company, then you need to speak up. But when you speak up, you want to speak up on, because you have to be a good note taker. So when you speak up, you want to speak up clearly of what you saw, but you're going to have to relate it on what they already produce in writing. That's how you do it. You don't go to your manager's office all angry because one thing happened. You have to understand the behavior or actions in which you saw, and then you have to clearly relate it to whatever the company has produced when it goes to their rules, regulations, policies, procedures, objectives, goals, vision, and mission. If you consistently see a behavior that contradicts what the company has written in the establishment, then you step forward and you plead your case. I gotta go. CEOs, let's don't close no stores. Allow those stores to thrive. You're in a situation now where it's probably like, what do we do? Yeah. Oh, that's what I forgot to answer you guys. I'm like, what do they? No one said, well, what do we do if we already? That's a good question. What do we do if we already have a festive environment? Good question. That was a question up here before I left. If you already have a festive environment, this is what you do. Maybe this is thing helping me out after all. If you have a festive environment already, and you feel there's a way, and you feel there's a way you can turn it around, and what you do is that you have to invest in training. You have to invest in training. And what I feel that a lot of guys are doing is that there's not a lot of customer service training. Now they can go through a lot of safety procedures, harassment. They can go through all those things, but most companies lack the ability or lack the they lack not putting enough money into consistent training. And I don't know why that is. And it depends on what particular arena that you're in or industry that you're in, whether they do it or not. But I have noticed that they don't do it. They feel like we're not putting any more value in it. But my thing is, what else is your human resource department doing? They hire, they put them out there, and then what? Send out W-2 forms, update I-9 forms. Like, what else are they doing? Why can't they train? Why can't they retrain? why can't they retrain if they feel like they got somebody wrong? And this is the thing too. Oh, this is really getting good. I gotta cut it short though. I can't have it too long. This is the thing too. Companies, if you are looking at the fact that you're wasting money training someone, you're looking at it very narrowly. And the reason why I say that is this. If you are in an environment, if you feel like your environment is infested, you got to recognize that first. If you feel like it is infested, then you need to invest in retraining. You need to cut your budget in a way to retrain. And then you have most companies that will say, or some people go say, why are we going to retrain? The only thing they're going to do is go leave this company, go to another company using our skills. That may be true, but think about this. Your training provides a stability of a foundation for someone because they heard it. And not only did they hear it, they had to implement it out to you to prove that they heard what you said. So if you're training them to how to deal with a guest that's irate, how to do anything training customer service, when you train them like that and they're able to implement it out, that's called discipline. And if they use that to go to another company, that's wonderful. But then guess what too? They can use that same training in their community. And it may have an effect in decreasing crime. I'm just saying. I don't know, maybe. You think so? Think it's a possibility? So we got to stop looking at it as though we're training them and they're going to run out of here and go somewhere else. And we basically just lost that money. So give them lack of training. So if they go somewhere else, they're not prepared. But guess what? You're going at our millennials who are leaving your jobs with less discipline than they had when they came in, and then they're going back into our community. And it's a powerful thing to have some discipline. And it's a powerful thing to have consistency. Maybe to bring down crime. Ain't nobody over there. I gotta go. Bye guys. Hope you like this. If you did, subscribe at the bottom. Hit the bell for notifications. I'm gonna be off next week somewhere, really, on this channel. But it's just a shout out to these companies. It really is. I'm hoping that someone out there were able to hear what I'm saying because I released it in the air. Hopefully it works. Bye guys.